we are already getting some good prop bet edges on both PrizePicks and Underdog today. Now, today is definitely interesting because I actually ended up saving my Flex Friday slip for Saturday because, well, PrizePicks said that they're going to allow that up until noon Eastern time. So we have some good college basketball props I'll be using for that slip. Maybe you guys save that. I'll show you guys what you can run out there. But I do want to start out with the edges that we are getting on both PrizePicks and Underdog. And so I'll start out with the underdog slip here, guys. This is a very big edge that we are getting here, and I'll show you guys that in a second. Keegan Bradley, his strokes on PrizePicks is set at 72.5, so a decent middling opportunity there. We're going to have two decent middling opportunities with these two as well. I'll show you guys that. Jalen Duren for over 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists is a very good EV bet that we have right now. A 55% chance to hit, so very good lines there to start. But like right off the bat, if you guys were someone that did save your Flex Friday slip for today, you could easily run this out as a Flex Friday slip. I guess it's Flex Saturday slip, and then also do an insured slip on Underdog for these three as well, obviously doing the opposite. Basically giving yourself, I don't want to say guaranteed profit, but it's not likely that both slips go 1 for 3. Heck, maybe I would say it's more likely for the middling to occur with these two. I mean, big prop line differences there for those college basketball props. And so I did just want to start off by showing you guys the fantasy score prop bet differences that we are getting on PrizePicks and Underdog. So right now, guys, about a 4 difference there for prop line difference, and I can add that in there here for you guys so you guys can see it. Just an insane prop line difference there, 3.85. Okay, Devin Carter, where the average sportsbook line should be set at 40.5, as Underdog has it set at, so at 38.5, a pretty big edge that we are getting there. The data would be still favoring the over at 40.5, so very big edge there. And then Jameer Young as well, the average sportsbook line should be at 36.3, so we are saying this one is definitely a very good middling opportunity that we are getting today. So those three together are great. Definitely feel comfortable using those three right now. And I do just want to call it the Keegan Bradley prop line difference as well. Again, 72.5 on PrizePicks, 71.5 on Underdog. The course played extremely difficult yesterday. I don't know what the setup is going to be today. They might choose to make it a little bit easier, to make it a little bit more dramatic for the finish. I could see that happening. But at the same time, it's tough to, like, we're really betting on how the course is going to play, and it's very difficult to do that. So I think this is a great milling opportunity. There should never be a one prop line difference, a stroke prop line difference there. So very big edges that we are getting there. So really, if you wanted to run out Cam Carter with those other three that I mentioned as a Flex Friday slip, by all means, go for it. But as a whole, those are really the only like really good college basketball props that we are getting today. Now, I fully expect that to change throughout the day because we have a lot of college basketball games. If you look at Underdog, we are getting so much more prop bets there. And then Underdog, guys, we are getting some pretty big edges, it seems like, on paper, where the data is really telling us to bet a lot of the unders here. These two are on Richmond here, so I would say those two would correlate, both the unders there. Definitely interesting. I mean, you guys see it when I compare the data. Typically speaking, Underdog is going to be more aggressive with their fantasy score lines than PrizePicks is. And so typically speaking, the under is favored on Underdog is kind of crazy. I just want to see if we're getting any over fantasy score prop bets. So here's one, not bad. Here's another pretty big prop line difference, 3.3 or so. I mean, that should not be happening. You can see the data likes the under a little bit better on Underdog, but that's another middling opportunity if you guys just wanted to run that out. Even still with Devin Carter, this is still favoring the over there. So again, a much better bet on PrizePicks, but it is crazy. One, the amount of fantasy score prop bets that we get on Underdog, but the amount of times in which the under is being favored. And we are getting so many prop bets for Underdog today for college basketball. And that's where we really are getting the biggest edges, is just the amount that they're giving us. So by all means, I'm going to be kind of mixing and matching these. I think they're all pretty solid, basically up until this one, pretty much. Any profit that has a 54% likelihood to hit, I'm going to be running out. And man, here's another one where we could be betting the under. Another middling opportunity here, guys. 2.5 difference. Oh, this slate's kind of crazy. I love it. It's kind of chaotic with the amount of prop bets that we get for college basketball. So definitely some big edges there, it seems like. But now we go ahead and jump on into NBA right now. So the Jalen Duren prop did get bumped up. I still would argue that's a little bit too low given the matchup. So looking at NBA today, guys, do want to start with the early game. I think that's going to be a great stacking opportunity there. Just we saw previous slates where their fantasy score lines were being kind of disrespected. Like Isaiah Stewart, someone that's been getting minutes now, maybe with Cade Cunningham back, that doesn't help him. Actually, it maybe ends up hurting him. Don't know for sure there, but I do think we're going to get some good lines there. Daniel Gafford in the matchup against Detroit, we like. We already saw Jalen Duren's a good points, rebounds, and assist prop there. From there, New York, we got to see if Hartenstein's out. Maybe Julius Randle shifts to the 5. Jericho Sims actually had a very good game last game. Kind of a fun matchup between Jokic and Embiid today. Looking at Houston versus Brooklyn, not too much there. We do know that Jabari Smith expected to play today, so he's probably going to be starting. Cameron Johnson out for Brooklyn should mean that Mikal Bridges gets some more work. Not terrible there. Porzingis not expected to play, so we're looking at probably Derek White to have a good game, Al Horford to have a good game. Very annoying yesterday for the bet of the day. I don't think a lot of people would have ran that out yesterday with when Flex Friday happened. And so what I mean by that is if you guys had ran out the Flex Friday slip that I'd given you guys, you probably didn't bet Paul George, because by the time, I don't think you could have, because by the time PrizePicks made their Flex Friday promo available, Paul George had already been reported that he was going to be injured, not having as many minutes as he typically would. So all the lines got bumped down. So really it was a 3-for-3 day yesterday. But at the same time, James Harden's prop line definitely changed then as well. So it was a weird day. I don't know how to grade this slip really to you guys. Typically speaking, I will update the bet of the day in the link in the description, or in the description below. I think for transparency purposes, I'm just not going to include this because it's very difficult to. I mean, like, you could just say, oh, it just ended up being a 2 slip bet, because yes, the Paul George kind of news changed his prop line by the time the Flex Friday slip was out there. And then also this as well, his James Harden line changed. It's hard to say. Like the underdog slip did end up hitting with Tyson Walker getting under his fantasy score, but this has been an annoying theme. It's like one random piece of injury news or whatnot occurs to take what should have been a really awesome day into just a decent day. But that's my long way of saying, like, Paul George, I like, is he going to be limited minutes wise again today? That was just very strange. Looking at Charlotte, they get a good matchup going against Utah. And another play in the previous slate was Colin Sexton, that really dominated last slate. I mean, he just crushed, well on his way to getting over his points, rebounds, and assists, but only played 17 minutes. It was super strange. I had to go on Twitter during that game to see what happened. I thought he was injured. He wasn't. It was super strange. So apparently we can't bet on him playing well and still getting the minutes. I know Jordan Clarkson played well. I know some of the other players were playing well in that game, but very strange. And I do think that this game is going to be a good stacking opportunity there. And then continuing on, Kyrie Irving expected to play today. LeBron, AD, got to make sure that they're playing, but kind of expect them to play. And so with that being said, I don't want this video to go too long. Let's just go over the good prop bets that we are currently getting right now. So Sengun for over assists, I think this one is probably going to be a push, actually. And I say that because he is someone that didn't get that many minutes in the last game because they got blown out, actually. So he didn't really have to do much in terms of the prop bets that we're currently getting. And we're not getting that many prop bets just yet, guys. That's why I wanted to do that kind of preview for you guys. Yeah, there's just not really that much there. I will say Colin Sexton, I do still think he's a good prop bet today. It's just, man, 17 minutes for really no reason. I know Clarkson played well, but that was super strange because he was playing well, didn't get into foul trouble or anything. I didn't see any injury there, so tough to say exactly what we should do there, but we know that that line is too low for if he does get like 24 minutes. Yeah, I don't want to touch on NBA too much, so let's jump into NHL, just see if we're getting any good prop bets there as well. And I mean, kind of, I'm so sick of these prop bets that are being favored as pushes. We got 2 decent ones for NHL, so if you wanted to toss this into a Flex Friday slip to make it a 6 slip bet, Kane for over 2.5 shots on goal, projected to get 3.9. That is crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that big of a difference. And then this one as well, I don't want to butcher his name, another pretty good prop bet that we are getting there as well that you could toss into an extra into a slip if you have 4 bets, which I think we do. You could toss these 2 in there to make it a 6 slip bet for your Flex Friday slip. And then lastly, just jumping into NFL, we are getting Gus Edwards now for over fantasy score. This has been weird with NFL. The lines have been changing so much. I think that's just because there's a lot more volume from the public for these, there's less games going on. So the sports books are adjusting their odds a little bit more than they typically would. We saw that with Smith for tackles and assists, where one day the under was being favorited and then another day the over was being favorited. Like the weather isn't playing a big factor in that. So interesting there. ASB for under receptions is a decent one that we're seeing. Nick Bolton for over 9 tackles. Interesting. The average sportsbook line has that 9.5. Typically, we don't see that. So we are getting some decent NFL bets there as well if you guys want to run those out. But let's go ahead and give you guys the bet of the day today. Now, I have already showed you guys the middling that I'm going to do on Underdog and Prize Picks right now because we are getting some pretty big edges there. Again, these two are clear middling opportunities. Heck, if you just want to run out a 2-slip bet on Prize Picks and a 2-slip bet on Underdog, where you're obviously doing the 2 favorable prop bets that are these 2 for the over, do that, but then also run out the under on Underdog. That way you're kind of, I don't want to say you're guaranteeing yourself a profit, but we are getting some pretty big edges with those prop line differences. I don't mind that, but you could also toss in Keegan into that mix because, again, with golf props, it should never be a 1-stroke prop line difference. And so that is a good edge there. To highlight the 6 best bets that we are currently getting, I went with fantasy score for Devin Carter. That's a very good one. And then these 2 are good prop bets as well that we are currently getting. But that is going to be all for this video. Got to get the video out so that people can place these bets because, well, lineup lock is a little bit faster. So appreciate you guys being here. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. Head on over to 9to5sports.com to get more of those college basketball props available for just $10 a month. Thanks for watching. As always, let's keep cashing.